Hi, I'm Kavita, and today I'm going to be cooking plain basmati rice. It's super easy once you get the knack of it. We're going to be using the absorption cooking technique, and that just means that we use the amount of water that we need and no more. The great thing about using this technique is that if you put in flavors and other things in with the rice while you're cooking it, that sort of all melds together in the pot, so you don't have to take anything out and lose anything. And so you have lots of other options and things that you can do with it afterwards. I'm going to give you some ideas for what kind of options you have at the end of this video. So let's get started. Ingredients, right, so we just need 3 ingredients. We've got, or I have, 180 grams of basmati rice. It's enough for 2 people. I've got some salt and water. And then for equipment, we just need a pot that has got enough space for rice to expand in, and there needs to be a bit of space for steam, and it needs a lid, and that's it. So the rule with basmati rice is that you should always wash it. What we're doing is actually washing the starch off the grains, and that's what helps to stop it from being sticky and clumpy. With basmati rice, we want separate grains, so the washing bit is necessary. We can wash the grains in the pot we're going to cook it in. So I'm going to tip the grains in, and then we can put water in with the rice, and that's going to be for our first rinse. We'll actually do several rinses until we start seeing water that's much clearer as the starch comes off. Here I'm pouring water into the rice for the first rinse. Use your fingertips to gently agitate the grains in the water without breaking them, and that helps to release the starch. You'll see the water starts to get cloudy. So rinse that cloudy water out and then add more clean water for rinse 2. Here's rinse 2. Repeat moving the grains around again and rinsing the water out, adding more water for rinse 3, rinse 4, and rinse 5, much clearer water. So now we have our clean washed grains, and we're going to put in some more water that we're going to cook with. Go for, or fill it up till you get to about maybe 3/4 of a centimetre above the surface level of the rice grains. And then we add some salt. Salt in. And now that can go on the hob. So we put the cooker on. We want to get to a medium-high temperature. My cooker goes from 1 to 9, so I usually set it off for 7 to start with. And then we want to let this get to the boil. Actually, what we're looking for is the point where most of this water has been absorbed by the rice, or maybe some of it's evaporated, but that usually takes around 10 to 12 minutes when you start seeing a lot of that water is gone, but keep an eye on it. Okay, 10 minutes later, and it looks like a lot of the water has gone. At this point, I usually give a gentle fork around to get under the surface layer of the rice and see if there's a lot of water left underneath it. And if it looks like there isn't much, this looks about ready actually, then now we can switch to the steam finish. So what I do, splash a bit more water over the rice, and then turn the temperature right down to 1, really low, and get a lid on. And then we leave it again for another 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, it's 10 minutes later, we're ready to open the pot. There. It's perfectly flopped up basmati rice. As soon as you open the pot, because we forked it up earlier, it looks all fluffy already, and actually it is. We've got separate grains everywhere. So that's ready to serve and eat. There, was that not easy? That was really quick, straightforward, plain basmati rice. So we did the absorption method, and the great thing about the absorption method I told you is that you can add in lots of flavours and things that stay in the rice. So I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do now for the variations. One of the favourites of mine is I usually keep mackerel lime leaves and sweet corn, frozen sweet corn, in the freezer. So what I do is when I put the rice on to start boiling, I just tear up a couple of lime leaves in with the water, and then I throw in a handful of sweet corn as well. And that goes so nicely together, especially if you put a knob of butter and a bit of cracked black pepper in there. Another option is you can add a fried egg. You can put chopped nuts on top. You can put soaked lentils in through the rice so it cooks all together. You can fry the cooked, cooled rice through some spices and then swirl some yogurt through it. One thing that I do for biryani sometimes, with biryani rice, is I get some whole spices, like a couple of cloves, for example, and I toast them in a clean pan. And then when they start to get hot and start releasing some of their oils, then I put in butter. And then what will happen is that flavour gets infused in the butter. And then I put in the washed rice grains into that spice butter and then toast the grains through it. And then I add the water and then I carry on cooking it in the same steps that we followed. Although I would bear in mind that with biryani, I would cook the rice until it's half cooked. So you want half the water and half the cooking time. So there you are, lots of things that you can try. If you give it a go, do let me know how you get on in the comments. If you like this recipe and you want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm now off to the sofa with my rice bowl.